All right. Let's start this shindig, as you young kids nowadays say. Hey, nerdy metal gent. Good morning, Diego. Set to get my one player box in the mail along with some more goodies. I'll then have 2K points of Spires. No, Spires! Why do you play the army I pine so much for? Oh my gosh. Spires is the army that is my lost love. If only she wasn't so ugly. I'm not a fan of the Spires models, but their rules are the most well designed army rules in the game. Good lord, I love the army rules for that army. All right, so let's see. I have to timestamp everything. All right, cool. So, some caveats here, folks. I will be time stamping this as I move along. Besides that, this is not an opinion piece, folks. Not an opinion piece. I have my camera in a weird spot, so I'm never really going to look at my camera. I'm just here to go over the army rule changes. That's it. I'm not here to give my opinions on if anything is weak or strong or whatever. This is for people who just want to listen to this in the background or have something to watch while they're working, whatever, right? So, without further ado, let's get right into it. First is the 100 Kingdoms. I have the new PDF on the left and the old PDF on the right. For some reason, the new PDFs have this double page look to them. I don't know what's going on there. That's something that might need to be updated on Parabellum's end. But let's just get right to it. Also, another caveat. I don't know the full implications of these rule changes when it comes to your army's strengths and weaknesses. So I'm going to obviously mischaracterize a lot of my slight opinions on the changes in the context of how it was and how it is, in context of how it affects your army now. If and when I get things wrong, let me know in the comment section and correct me. I'm sure you'll know what I'm talking about as soon as I open up my mouth. Cool. Well, another thing, thank you for the Parabellum team. Thank you, Leandros, for putting these rules out much earlier than expected. It's not my cat, is it? No, it's not my cat. Okay. So thank you very much. Awesome. It is a Parabellum markets itself as a online living documents kind of game, and having these changes appear more often and more frequent is a blessing. I love it. Okay. Changes are in red. And it seems like the dynastic alliances has been cleaned up. The wording has been cleaned up. I am tempted to sit here and read every sentence and tell you what the change might imply in the rules. But here's the thing. If you're a 100 Kingdoms player, you know better than anyone else what these changes mean to your army. Same for the Wadroon and Nords. So I'm not here to go over what these changes mean to your army. I'm completely ignorant on these things. I'm just here to show you what the changes are. So dynastic alliances have been changed and or wording revamped. The protective glyph here on the right seems to have vanished. All right, so let's scroll down to supremacy abilities. Oh, protective glyphs seem to have moved down to the chapter mage. Wait, chapter mage, Theist priest, priori, noble. Was the chapter mage? Is that a new character for you guys? It's not here on the right, but it's there on the left. So whatever. Chapter mage has now been added to have a supremacy ability. Maybe the chapter mage is also a new character. I don't know. I'm not going to look. Once again, guys, I know this might annoy some of you. I'm not going to go through every nook and cranny change. Imperial Officer, rapid deployment. All friendly infantry regiments in the army gain the Vanguard special rules for the duration of the battle. Cool. This supremacy ability is always considered to be active, regardless of whether the character stand is currently on the battlefield or having been destroyed. This is the new wording for abilities that affect an army, while the model that give that while the model that gives that ability is off the battlefield. Now so if you have an army constructed and on round one, let's say the Imperial officer is off the board, your other infantry regiments will gain that special ability, which is pretty awesome. They have this rule, or having been destroyed, which is an odd design change. I don't think I've ever seen a war game where you have an ability happen after a model has been destroyed. So there was one more thing. When the FAQ was released some weeks ago, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, there were designer notes on why the changes were made, and they were kind of quick and simple, and people loved them. There seems to be a complete lack of why a change has been made for these rules, and this has created this little inner circle feeling, because whenever you ask these questions on the Discord, you're pretty much met with, we don't have to tell you sort of deal, or it's a secret society idea, or these people decided it's so, right? Now, granted, this is on a side note here, granted, when a business makes a decision, it's literally not the customer's prerogative to know why. If you go to a store and Dorito changes logos, so what? As long as the profits of that business is increasing, then the change is for the good. I'm going to put aside short-term versus long-term game or whatever, right? So I am all for Parabellum making decisions, and we have literally no privy to those changes. It's not our business. It's not our business, right? The small caveat: there is a trust between a brand name and the customers. And let's say you drink a Budweiser beer. When you drink the beer, you don't care about the CEO or who tested the flavors or the design of the can. It's irrelevant. That relationship does not exist. When it comes to war games, part of what builds the community is this pseudo friendship that the company has with the customer base to keep them as customers, because the hobby, the atmosphere of war games is one of camaraderie, of selfish values, of community, and that translates also between the relationship of a company and its customers. So there is a small how can I say this, exception, that when it comes to hobby games, entertainment sort of deals, whether they're movies or people writing books, there is this relationship that the customer has with the owner of the property that doesn't exist with other impersonal business models, or like a construction company, building company, a bank, right? When it comes to entertainment, this relationship of, we want you to feel like you're at home here, it works both ways. So if an entertainment company wants their customer base to congregate at hobby stores, comic book stores, and have the sense of community, the company cannot be this distant, isolated thing in the past. What am I basically saying? Have designer notes. You're part of the community, Parabellum, you're part of the family. Let us know why these changes were made. I don't think you got any blowback for any of the community notes in the FAQ, that blowback that mattered. People just loved the fact that you made the changes, so or why you made the changes. So having this or having been destroyed, it's just odd. It's just really odd to have this ability. I can make assumptions as to why this is even here. Ease of editing, ease of gameplay, I don't know, making sure all the rules are the same. I mean, but now we're making assumptions, and I shouldn't be needing to be doing that. So let's move on from supremacy abilities. Just going down to mounted priority commander now has impact 4. Mounted priority. Oh, so his impact went up by 1. Oh, that's good. Okay. Theist priest. So that's it for the character changes. I'm just scrolling through this really quick. I did my little rant, so let's just scroll through this really quick. I'm sure the where's the character? Hold on. I'm actually interested. Wait, Imperial officer. I'm curious. The chapter mage. Enemy spell characters supremacy ability. The chapter mage. Is that not a character now? It wasn't a character before, right? No. Oh, it is. Okay, you guys are really. Maybe it didn't have a. Oh, was it because its supremacy ability wasn't under the list? It was jammed up in here with the army rules? No. Oh, the chapter mage gains the protective glyph supremacy ability. Oh, so it just wasn't under the supremacy ability. Oh, I see. So you're cleaning that up. Okay, got it. So I spent 10 minutes on cleaning it up. It could have been just explained under, like, notes. Chapter mage wasn't included. Chapter mage supremacy ability wasn't included under the supremacy. And you can put all these changes at the end of a document with bullet points and page numbers or whatever. And if that's too much work, I'll hire somebody, Throw me a couple bucks, I'll edit your stuff for you. But I know a lot of people like to have complete creative control over their property. So I understand if you don't want to do that. Let's just move on. What other changes? Regiments. Back to regiments. Can I just do page down? Yes, regiment. Imperial Ranger Corps. Standard Bearer went down 5 points. Longbowman. Additional stands went down 5 points. Cute. And Standard Bearer went down 5 points. Cute. Militia Bowman, 5 points for the banner. Hunter Cadre went up 10 points, but the Standard Bearer went down 5 points. Okay. So if you normally take a banner with them, they just went up, what, like 5 points? Pretty much. Not that bad. Men-at-Arms. Standard Bearer. The Order of St. Lazarus. Standard Bearer went down 5 points. They also went up 15 points. But if you took a Standard Bearer, they got cheaper 5 points. So the unit actually just went up 10 points. If you take a Standard Bearer, that's fine. Order of the Sealed Temple. 170 points. Standard Bearer went down 5 points. Oh, that kind of went up a lot of points. Really? Oh, okay, well, it went up 30 points. And if you took a Standard Bearer, it went up 25 points. Gilded Legion. Pike Formation. This is new. Enemy regiments suffer -3 to their impact special rule to a minimum of 0 when in contact with this regiment's front arc. In addition, enemy regiments that have performed a successful charge against this regiment's front arc do not benefit from the inspired and shocked special rule until end of turn. So they are like an anti-impact kind of unit. And their Standard Bearer went down 5 points. So Gilded Legion seemed like a decent like a tech piece against charging armies. Order of the Ashen Dawn. Blessed, Cleave 1, Fearless, Impact 3, Shield, Defense 4. Okay, so they lost Shield, and they got to Defense 4, which is fine. It's better for them, since rules will remove Shield from them, and now you can't remove it. And Wedge. What's Wedge? With an exclamation point. I like how the ability has an exclamation point. That's really cute. Well, okay. Crimson Tower also has Wedge. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry, guys. The document is double-sided. Whoops. Okay, I have to get used to this. We'll get to what Wedge is in a bit. Characters. Battlefield drills. It looks like this entire section got cleaned up to look a little more pleasing. And it seems to add the regiment this character stand is currently attached to. The regiment this character stand is currently attached to. Well, it already has that. I don't know why this isn't red, but whatever. Currently attached character stands do not receive the draw event. I'm really curious about that wording because when the regiment this character stand is currently attached to gains the Bastion 1 draw event. Oh, I see. So when a character is part of a regiment and the regiment gains an ability, the character also gains the ability. So maybe people are playing the regiment and the character both getting their Bastion brackets 1 draw event, and this is making it clear that they don't. Fair enough. I could understand that change. Scrolling down, looking for red text. All right. We have some items here that are updated as well. What do we have here? Combat? Did they add some stuff? Did I just pass by everything? Oh, here we go. Masteries. Tip of the lance. Tip of the lance to you. Shashai. 35 points. The cavalry regiment this character stand is currently attached to gains wedge. Long lineage. This character stand may purchase 1 additional character upgrade from this army list at its indicated points cost, even if a character upgrade was not available in the character stand's army list entry. Cool. It seems to be cleaned up some language. Mercenary crossbowmen got banner buffs by 5 points. Let's go to militia. Militia additional stands got cheaper. There you go. Fill out your armies with militia. Mounted squires got opportunists. Just funny because that's what I suggested. They get. Just makes sense that they would have got that. Kind of interesting. I mean, as a Nord player, it still makes me wish Fenrir were light. Every time I see something like this, it makes me cry on the inside a little bit. So maybe people will take mounted squires now and actually use them tactfully. Try to get people in the flanks, which seems kind of cool. Household Guard. Arm Master went down 10 points, and Standard Bearer went down 5 points. Good. Sakari. Banners went down 5 points. Order of the Sword. Banner went down 5 points. Steel Legion, what's this? Went down 10 points. Interesting. And their banner went down 5 points. Okay. So far, the changes to 100 Kingdoms seem pretty cool. Command models. Okay, that's a lot to read through. It seems like it's a lot of cleanup, and if any of you are 100 Kingdom pros, let me know in the comments section if any of these changes were a negative or a positive. Because there's a lot to go here, and I'm not going to do that at the moment. For instance, Tourney Champion. The old rule said this regiment adds +2 to its charge distances. Cool. 20 Champion under the new rules. This regiment adds +2 to its charge distance when performing a charge action. When else would you need a charge distance? Was someone actually confused? When would you get a charge distance? Like, I don't understand why that was needed. It's really weird. Draw events and special rules. Wedge. Oh, here's Wedge. Finally, we got Wedge, folks. After performing a successful charge, this regiment gains Cleave +1, a special rule until end of turn. So it makes people that charge a little stronger on the charge. Well, wait till they charge into Dweg and just get hardened away. And that seems like all the changes. Now, without understanding the changes here, my overall opinion, I know I wouldn't say I would give an opinion, but my overall opinion seems fine. Things got cheaper. One block of knights seemed to have gotten more expensive. I don't know. 100k AD is insane, pal. D4 from flank, blessed R5, and charge a cleave 2. Geez. Oh, the Ashen Dawn? Yeah. Get your Ashen Dawn, folks. Parabellum's mistake for not giving them shields is your benefit. It's cute. Meanwhile, Steel Forged. But these have 19 attacks with cleave too. Okay. 100 Kingdoms has been the worst army in the entire game since I've been playing. Objectively, just the worst army. And when their ranged bless combo was removed for the past week or two, they were in a real slump. But it seems like they seem to have gotten better. All right. Let's move on to the next army, which is going to be through 2540. All right, cool. Let's go over to Spires. Bro, I got to pull up each one individually. Ugh! Why am I so old and bald? All right. Okay, this is bugging me. Oh, I have to zoom in. What was I zoomed in over here? 150%. All right, 150%. All right, let's check out some Spire stuff. I ordered 3 boxes. Good. Hell yeah, they're beautiful models. We've got to zoom in on this one too. What's this one at? 142%? Sure, Adobe. Okay, what is this? Army rules for Spires. The Sovereign Lineage Superior Creations. When selecting regiments for your Warlord's Warband, you may increase the regiment's cost by 5 points per stand. If you do, increase that regiment's clash characteristic by 1 and evasion characteristic by 1. My opinionated brain already wanted to go off here, but I'm not going to do that. The maximum of 3 restrictions and maximum of 2 on evasion only applies during list building. Keeping the opinions out of here. But that already existed here. So looks like this was a wording that was cleaned up for Superior Creations. So that seems fine. Lineage Highborn, Legacies of the Ark. Right here. When creating army lists, select 1 Lineage Highborn or Mimetic Assassin character stand in your army. That character stand may select up to 3 mutations at no additional points cost, instead of purchasing the number listed on their army list entry. I should say, instead of purchasing the item at the points cost listed, but whatever. This supremacy ability is always considered to be active, regardless of whether... Oh, so this is now going to be the de facto... If a model is not in the battlefield, this rule will always take into effect. Sentence. Cool. Okay. What does this have to do with the Legacies of the Ark? Were people arguing that once the Lineage Highborn died, that the upgrades those other regiments got went away? Was that really... Who made that argument? That's so weird. That's so weird. I guess. I mean, whatever. No, I did not get to Dweg yet. Relax. Spires got worse again? Bro, Spires are the best army in the game. Best with the proper context of the best army rules, the most fun you could have with the models. Spires are awesome. I make it no private statement that I am envious of Spires. I love Spires. I don't like their models, but I love their rules. Love them so much. Oh my god. Okay, let's look at some characters. Okay, High Clone Executor. Currently attached character stands do not receive the draw event. Okay. Also, it was cleaned up, which is fine. So here's the thing, guys. I am fully aware on YouTube, if I wanted to reach 30,000 subscribers and have 1 million viewers, I cultivate the drama. I've done this before in the past. I've even said this once before in one of my previous videos on this very channel, that I used to do, topics on immigration back in 2015 and take a side on purpose just to see what my viewership would go. And I would have videos that would get 10, 20,000 views, but the topic didn't interest me. So if I wanted to, I could sit here for 5 hours and be very opinionated, be the drama guy in I know I could be the drama guy in Conquest. I know I could do that, but I have no interest in doing so. All my drama is solely selfish for making the game better. It's never for its own sake, right? And here's the thing. When I speak about Nords, I know what I'm talking about. Just flat out. 100%. But when I speak about other armies, I'm ignorant. So I have this weird thing where if I do army opinions, I can't really do them that well for other armies because I'm just ignorant on the internal workings of other armies. So I just don't really do it that much. It's just no point. All right. Lineage Highborn doesn't seem to have any changes. Ferromancer doesn't have any changes. Mimetic Assassin. Boy, oh boy. The dueling master that is not a dueling master. I mean, he kills enemy casters real easily. Chameleonic Epidermis. Is this just changed up? Once per round, this character stand may perform a free additional Seek New Escort during its activation. This character stand may seek New Escort even if the regiment it is currently attached to or the destination regiment is engaged. Yeah, let's see the old one. Even if the regiment is currently attached to is engaged with enemy regiments. Oh, okay. So they made it that if the regiment he's in is engaged, he can hop out, like save his own skin. I kind of like that. Okay, cool. Let's go over to mutations. Let's see here. Mutations doesn't seem to have any changes. Good lord, I love the Spires like mutation rules. They're so awesome. Even though they're mostly defensive, I'd like if they had a little more offensive stuff. Maybe they don't need it in testing. Okay, Ferromancies. It seems to have added this one same paragraph to all of these. If the regiment within 12 inches of the character stand immediately place that card at the bottom of the command stack, this takes place at the end of the draw command card step and before the resolve draw event step is resolved. Okay, so it's adding a timing aspect for the player to understand. I'm assuming that's what that does, and that's cool. Thank you very much, PB, for that. Fermatic Compulsion. This takes place at the end of the draw command card step and before. Okay, so more timing stuff. So far, so good. Regiments. Force-grown drones. Say that 5 times fast. While the character stand is attached to this regiment, the regiment always uses the highest resolve. What? That's the new rule. The old one is, while a character stand is attached to this regiment, the regiment uses the highest resolve characteristic in the regiment. Oh! Always uses. Because as far as I remember, in Conquest, always trumps never. So if you were to have some rule that would say the enemy regiment must test using its lowest resolve characteristic, right? Then force-grown drones always uses the highest resolve. I guess that's cool. All right, cool. Interesting change. No changes to the bound clones, Vanguard clones. What about here? I'm running my Skaven Miles as Spires now. Much fun. Oh. Damn, it's almost like those two armies are one and the same. Skaven and Spires, right? He could already jumped out of engaged regiment. They clarify to say he can jump into one. Well, thank you very much for the correction. Assassin. Ooh. Yeah, well, Spires are fun to play from version 1 till now, but the Leonines we were hyped for are getting worse, but Siegebreaker will bring a new era of Spires. They are good, but keep getting worse. 7 drones ago. Well, Bomba, you are speaking from a perspective of more knowledge and experience about the army than me, because I literally have no idea what a Leonines is. Maybe it's an unreleased character or a regiment. Let me know. I don't know. I don't speculate anything out yet since I don't know they change everything so frequently. I guess. I do like that they change everything so frequently. Vanguard clone infiltrators. Here we go. I think this is the big one people were in a tiff about. V2 from V3, so their volley got worse by 1, and their barrage went down to 5. So, in my playing against Vanguard clone infiltrators, here's the thing about Spires. Your army is so good. and Vanguard were just way overpowered. Why? Because once you give a regiment the loose formation, trying to kill them was a pain in the butt. Okay? And because you could activate multiple clone infiltrators with your supremacy, multiple clone infiltrators were good because you could just activate, 3 in a row? Pew, 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 pew. The strength of Vanguard clone infiltrators was in their defensive ability to counter enemy spells and counter enemy ranged. And then it forced your opponent to deal with them with unfavorable charges, unfavorable outcomes. That's what Vanguard clone infiltrators were ace at doing. So their output is down. But don't they like re-roll? Can't you upgrade them so they can like re-roll 1s or 6s or some junk like that? I don't know. Either way, Barrage 5 is good. Once again, okay, obviously I'm gonna break my no opinions thing. Oh my god. My brain, I can't do it. I just can't do it. I don't have to be at work for 2 hours, so like they could have kept Barrage 6 and then Volley 2, right? Small touches. Or kept it Volley 3 and bring him down to Barrage 4. Like one or the other. The Barrage 5 seems fine to me. The Volley 2 seems odd. It's like one or the other. But either way. Would I take them? Yes. I would still take one regiment, stick the character in there, give them loose formation, and then your opponent can never kill them. I mean, the thing about range now, guys, is that the physical range is now basically 14 for most ranged regiments. So the game is now this. Before you had you had slingers or bow chosen or vanguard. They would sit back here, threaten a distance, right? Threaten a distance that you would have to get into because of movement measurements and charge measurements, etc. But now that range has been standardized to 14 inches, the game is now this. Ranged regiments sit in the back behind melee regiments, and then when 2 melee regiments fight, the ranged regiments now provides a damage support into that combat. Just make sure that you have enough of the enemy regiment to see when you're drawing line of sight into them. So it seems like shooting has got more of a support feel to it in this game rather than a build, which I am, in one context, I'm fine with, right? In another context, shooting can be a design space an army can have. Because right now in Conquest, you have like 3 armies that are basically the same, right? Or actually 2. Wadrun and Nord are basically the same. They just look different, but they're basically the same gameplay-wise. But if one was a shooting army and one was more of a charging army, there would be an identity between the two. But anyway, Vanguard Clone Infiltrator change seems fine. I just broke my opinion rule. I couldn't do it. It just seems weird. Let's see. Unreleased Regiment, Diego. Thank you very much. Damage got down to 3/8, but yeah, true. Nope, but you can give them deadly shots at +1V. Oh. You can give them +1V? From what? Like a character upgrade or something? Or is it upgrade from the regiment? Oh, it seems fine. Anyway, moving on. I think so. As far as the Vanguard stuff, you can still absolutely dominate people with them if you know what you're doing. So guys, just test them out. I would not worry too much about it. Burnout onslaught drones. I think that was a rule they were supposed to have, but they didn't have. So I think that was just like an update to them. Okay, well, they got burnout. Cool. What else we got here? Prowlers and Centaur Avatara. No idea what a Prowler is, so I don't really care. If it's not released, I don't care what it is. Centaur Avatara went down 5 points. Okay. Cool. Desolation Beast. What the heck? Don't care. Sorry, guys. I know maybe for Spires you might care about this stuff, but if it's not released, I'm not going to waste time on it. Because unreleased stuff gets changed all the time. All you Tauntor players out there know what I'm talking about. Ward Perceptor. Currently attached character stands do not receive the draw event. Okay. So they're making sure they're not doubling up on draw events. Got it. And that's it for Spires. That's it. What nerf did Spires get? Am I missing something here? Let me know in chat. Like, legitimate nerf. The only one is the Vanguard clone, right? And even that is easily manageable. At 180 points. Woof. Yeah, I mean, Spires got off scot-free. You actually got some rules clarification. You got burnout clarification. Seems fine to me. So Spires players aren't really salty about this, are they? People who say Spires power is all... Hey, what's up? What's up, Tyler? It's people who say Spires power is all in the VCI rage. And they need to meet Tree Monkey, our local Spires player. And get dominated by brutes. Good lord. And then we had... Oh! Who was the gentleman that came down from Georgia? God, is it Nick? Was it Nick? Who came to the regionals with like an all Spires suicide burnout list where it was like billions of little clone guys running around just burning out and blowing up or whatever he was doing. And that was doing pretty well. I mean, that Spires army seems so much fun. So if you guys are familiar with Magic the Gathering, right? Nords are like a burn deck, straight red, right? You get into red, you know what you're getting into. Now, Nords are neither glass or cannon. I mean, they're all glass, no cannon. But you know what you're getting into when you play a red deck. You just have one build and you go for the thing. Spires is like a combination of 3 or 4 colors in Magic the Gathering, where you can just build your deck into control, offense, I don't know, shooting. I mean, I love Spires so much. You can clearly tell designer favorites when it comes to games. Dweg and Spires definitely fit that bill in Conquest. VCI got buffed because now people will actually willingly play against you when you take them. Yeah, so... and then you're still going to get tabled by them. It's funny. Okay, so Spires seem okay. For all the Spire players out there, if I am wrong on my opinion, because remember, I am ignorant to your army, let me know in the comments section down below, and I will rightfully ignore you completely. Okay, so that's Spires. Now we're going to go over to... I'm being sarcastic, folks. Calm down, calm down. Dweghome's next. I'm just going in order of how they were presented to me on the website. So we're at 150%. Oh, man. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, I have to interject my opinions on these things. Why not? I mean, I am trying to build my YouTube channel so I can get people on Patreon giving money so I can actually pay bills. All right. Yeah, join my Patreon, guys. It's like $1 or $3 or $5. All right. Let's go over to army rules. So here's the thing. Tempered Creed. Now, this is what I've been waiting for. My shop has a lot of Dweg players. Going to see how they got buffed or nerfed. They got okay. Yeah, Dweg got buffed this time around. Like in 2.0 when Magic got nerfed, but Dweg got buffed. This is another thing where maybe other armies got nerfed, but Dweg got buffed. All right. I'm just going to say this about elemental potency, who cares? At top level against experienced players, who cares? This is a mechanic that is a negative play experience against new players. That's all it is. When I played as Dweg, which I've done over the past month, because before I put my foot in my mouth, I have to experience the army, right? I've even mentioned this in my local area. I wanted to start a league where people show up with their armies and then swap them, so you can learn how the other army plays, so you can form a better experience or better opinion about them, an objective opinion about them instead of a feelings-based opinion about them. Every time I played with Dweg, I never used this until the game was already over. I absolutely mashed my opponent into the ground. This ability could be completely deleted, and it would not affect Dweg at all. None. Zero. But I know how people like their toys, so don't worry, folks. I don't write the rules for this game, and apparently my opinions don't matter to Parabellum. So even though like 90% of my suggestions just so happened to have been made into the game at some point or another, I don't have any actual, like, I can't call up anyone on the phone and tell them to change things, right? So this ain't going anywhere if you like this stuff. But basically what happened after I read this earlier, instead of being able to use 100 tokens in one go to make a Nord player feel bad about spending money on an Ice Jotnar, you now can only spend 5 at a turn. Yeah, the character stand or regiment may use up to 5 elemental markers during the course of a single action. Oh, so I could use 5 during a charge and then 5 during a clash, and then okay, whatever. And they clarified that rules like cleave or smite will go through markers, which doesn't really matter much anymore since Bo Chosen got nerfed. So, whatever. Yeah, so besides my opinion on just deleting this entire ability, I just whatever. It's just it makes players just not want to play the game when you're trying to teach them the game. That's what I've witnessed over the past 6 months. You get one player with Dweg and a new player trying to learn the game. The new player spent, a couple $100 on a thing. They push the thing into the Dweg, and the Dweg go, "Oh, you can't play with that thing." Oh, also, you don't get one every round for free. Was that? Hold on. Additionally, add 1 elemental power marker to the pool at the beginning. Okay. You don't get a free one. Okay. Whatever. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. As an experienced player, Dweg players can have their original elemental potency, and I'd play around it. So once again, with experienced players, which of there are like 10 in this world, 5 of them locally, okay? The rule didn't matter. And when it did matter, it just made people feel bad. Now, I haven't looked at chat since I started this rant. Let me look at chat and get my lashings. Every Dweg player on Discord says their list all went up by 50 points. Okay, well, I'll look into that. 5 auto passes is still busted. Dice game, ignore dice mechanics, dumb. Yeah, the auto passes only matter when you're playing against new players, and it's just a negative play experience. Because when I play, I know, I have to send this Mountain Jotnar in there to burn these damn tokens, and then I could do my other thing with my other regiment, right? Like, in a way, at top level, at most, it forced the opponent to think about charge order or damage order. But against new players, it's just not fun at all. It's just really weird. I always made this analogy. Imagine if Nord had this ability where we can gain rage tokens, right? And then when we charge, we just auto wound your unit. So I can spend 12 tokens to deal 12 damage, and then you take 12 resolve. People would flip out if you can auto do damage. It's the same with auto defense. Anyway, GW has similar rules, but they only allow one single. Yeah, Automata, Steelforged Drakes all have the evasion, so they can spend tokens no matter what the cleave or smite is. Yeah. Once again, I'll just say this, because I know people take me out of context all the time. Top tables, this ability is irrelevant. At best case scenario, it provides tactical play for the opponent to play around. 99% of games, when I've seen people play against Dweg, it's like, oh, you're flipping a dice every round. I really don't know what that does. And they charge in, and it's like, oh, that's what that does. Well, shoot, I'm going to go play Age of Sigmar now, which has happened. It's funny. I was going over my old comments earlier today, and I noticed when I first started playing Conquest, there were 17 players in my league back in November. Now we have like 5, and it's the same like 5 sweaty try-hard players. All the casuals left. They're all gone. They literally are now playing Age of Sigmar or 40k. They've left the game. They're just gone. So only the tournament-minded players who understand the brilliance of this game at a competitive level because of Rank and Flank. But Rank and Flank has always had this issue of being real dense with the rules, and it scares away new players with the wheeling and the ice pop and the kids and the zip zap zip boom, right? Anyway, moving on. Otherwise, I'll be there for an hour. Hold Ray. Oh, hold on. Did I miss something here? The Ardent Creed. Here's the thing, guys. I played against an Ardent Creed army. It was brutal. Every time I tried to break a regiment, it just would not break. In a way, it felt like the Elemental Token one. In a way. But I liked it because it felt more Dwegish. Like they're just iron. They don't break. They're resolute. Right? And it's a shame more players didn't take this. It's really good. It's really good. Alright, Hold Ray. +2 to their attacks characteristic, +1 to their attacks characteristic. Okay, so you guys become a little more melee oriented, but cool. Characters. No changes here. Tempered Sorcerer, nothing. Tempered Steel Shaper, nothing. Hold Ray, he got his +2 to attack. Relics. Banners, what's this? Until we have to. What's this malarkey? Is that the one that ruins duels? I just wish Parabellum would get rid of every rule that stopped duels. Just get them all out of there. Get them all out of the game. Stop with this malarkey. Let duels be a thing. Just get them all out of the game. Let people duel. It's a reward. If your caster is sitting there blowing me up with spells, the second I get up to you, I get your caster out of here. I worked hard to get my models physically across the table, dueling your character, get him out of there. But I swear, every army has some rule that just ignores duels or they don't suffer the penalties for it. Except Nords. Okay. Banners until we have to. This regiment, this character stand currently gains a Bastion +1 draw event. Okay. Currently attached character stands do not gain the draw event. Okay. That's more clarification until we have to. That's fine. Chthonic Flame. What's Chthonic Flame? Enemy stands reroll a successful resolve test when suffering wounds from this character stand. This also is applicable to spellcasting actions. Is that Flame Blade? What? Kind of lost here. Where is this at? This is under... Oh my god, the double page is driving me nuts. Flaming Weapon. Oh, it's Flaming Weapon. Okay. I went up 10 points. Whatever. Make it 50 points, I'd still take it. Character upgrades relics, or already went through that. Retinue stuff hasn't been changed. Ardent stuff. Flaming Oratory, what's this? Oh, it's just clarifying the character is not getting the draw event. Okay, fine. Thank you very much, PB, for the clarifications. Hellbringer Sorcerer goes up 15 points. And? What? Basically, I give the Hellbringer Sorcerer for 25 points. I give him, what is it, like 13 wounds and evasion too? Okay. I don't care. That's the main reason why Wadron players don't like the T-Rex, because it has no evasion. There's no point in taking it. I mean, why Dweg as an army even has evasion is beyond me. There should be, the word evasion should not even exist in this army anywhere, period. Zero, nowhere. Just get it out of there. Okay, tempered stuff. Tempered Steel Shaper, what's this malarkey? Tempered Steel Shaper. Tempered Sorcerer, Tempered Steel Shaper. Did I miss something here? No, I didn't. Okay, Tempered Steel Shaper. I don't even know what these spells do because no one ever takes this stuff. The regiment gains a hardened +1 special rule until the end of round, maximum of 2. Temper Plate, maximum of 2. I guess they put that there to clarify. In addition, Resolve. So whatever, Temper Plate's fine. Whatever. The hardened stuff would be fine if you guys just didn't have the evasion everywhere. Ardent Caraway. Resolve. Oh, this is the one where you just cast spells on your own regiments to get tokens. It's like the dumbest thing I've seen Dweg players do. It's like, why does this exist? Just make it a spell where you just cast it and gain a point. In addition, the regiment gains the inspired special rule until end of round. What? Why? What is that? So not only am I casting this spell on my own guys just to gain +1 elemental tokens, they just now gain inspired? What? So now your guys are +1 inspired, so when I charge into you, I have to deal when you activate. You don't even have to inspire. You can now unbreak and just clash. Like, what? Why was this even added in here? This makes no sense. You know what they should have added in here? This spell cannot be cast on a regiment that's not broken. That's what should have been put here. This spell is effectively still a token generator. It's all it is. All right, regiments, Aura of Death. I think there was a thing with Aura of Death being changed, but it wasn't changed properly. So I'm not going to harp on it too much. Flame Berserkers going up to March 6 makes Nord players cry so much. Like, why? Why? They are already a defense 3, resolve 5 light regiment. Oh my god, they're so good. Hode Ballistae, they're fine. Hode Ballistae could probably go down 10 points. It's amazing how Volley 2 can jack the points of a regiment up or down and people wouldn't care. Fireforged. So let's see. How is the Dweg ranged nerfed? I don't see any red here. There's still defense 3. Why? What is this? Armor piercing 2. Oh, they have a shield. I forget they have a shield. Oh, why? Moving on. Hold Warriors went up in points. Why? Who complained about Hold Warriors? Why? This is just a tax. That's all this is. Why put a points increase on a regiment people didn't want to take in the first place? This 10 points should have just made Fireforged 200. They would still take Fireforged. I would still take Fireforged. I don't get this. This is unnecessary. This is like a piss the players off kind of change. Why? What do we got here? Wardens and Initiates. What do we got here in chat? AOD causes no resolve, so they increase the base AOD on a lot of units. True. True. I'm not sure, but the Sorcerer and Steel Shaper have the rules that make them able to generate tokens by casting. I'm not sure if the Ardent doesn't make them spells. Dwarves all have shields because dwarves. So if any of you are familiar with this trope in fantasy games, where if you have a fantasy setting, elves are just better at you at everything. World of Warcraft, Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer, Lord of the Rings, just elves, because of the Lord of the Rings movie, I'm sure. Elves, because of it's Legolas. It's that asshole. Because of Legolas, Legolas, elves just better than you at everything. For some reason, I don't know why. In Conquest, that trope is changed to dwarves. I don't know why. But the dwarves are just better at you than everything, and it's just annoying. Okay, let's see. Let's move on. Dragon Slayers went up 10 points. Why? They suck. Why would they do that? Dragon players are a trap regiment. They're regiments that people who like the models and unfortunately don't know what they're doing take. And they're down 200 points in their list. Now they're up 10 points? What? What? What's going on? I don't get that. Leave Dragon Slayers alone. Leave Dragon Slayers alone. Magma Forge. I think that's an unreleased. Don't know. Don't care. Inferno Automata went up 10 points. Who cares? It's the entire design of this unit is complete garbage. Everything about this unit has to change. Literally everything. Who cares? If and when I play Dweg, I'm still taking 2 regiments of them. I mean, they're just so good. Steelforge went up 10 points. Are they like the egg guys that are really powerful? Sure. Since I have not played against Steelforge, I have no opinion on them. So I can't really comment on them. If you guys have proxied them or played them, let me know. Your opinion. I don't know anything about Steelforged. And the Drakes, get rid of Evasion 2, make them heavy. Okay. Command models. While this officer is present, has been added to pretty much everything. Okay, we can move from there. Overcharge. What's this? Oh, that's the Drake. This regiment's armor piercing, value may not exceed 2. Who cares? Once you have an armor piercing of 2, Nord regiments are dead. I mean, pretty much any regiment is dead except other Dweg stuff. Who cares? Was that a problem? I actually never had an issue with the Drake getting, like, armor piercing 10. Because once you got 2, it didn't matter. It's like, whatever, bro. And there's something here about discarding overcharge markers. So, someone said in chat earlier that the nerf that Dweg got was plus 50 points in their lists. So what is that? One less stand? And there literally cannot be a rational, objective-minded Dweg player complaining about anything in that Discord channel. Nothing. They should all be thanking Bellum for another round of buffs. The people who do not use... Where are these guys? Am I doing a thing? I think I'm doing the thing. The people who don't use Flame Berserkers, they don't know how good they are. They are so good. Oh my god, they're so good. Good lord. And just getting an Inspire on your spell. So, Dweg got buffs all around. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Technically, these are nerfs. By the definition of the word, this is a nerf. Elemental potency. But that's actually better for Bellum in the long run, because this will help their bottom line get higher as players stay in the game. This is a buff to their bottom line. If they really want to buff their bottom line, just get rid of this rule. This is a negative play experience for new players. But nothing in Dweg even care about the terrain rule updates. They don't have cav. They don't really care about impacts. They have spells. They don't really shoot that much. So, whatever. Dweg is... Dweg be Dweggin. What do you want me to say? Now, I know I am negative about it. Here's my thing, though. You as the player, when you buy the models, you are not responsible for how broken your army is. I played Tyranids in 40k. When my opponents complain to me about the rules, I tell them, call GW and lodge a complaint. Now, as an overpowered Tyranid player, This is a lesson to some of you out there. If this does not apply to you, I'm not talking to you. If you have a book that's really powerful, what you can do is consciously dumb it down to the level of your opponent so they can have some fun. As a Tyranid player, if any of you are familiar with 40k, Warhammer 40k, the Tyranid book that came out last year was arguably the strongest army book GW has ever released in 35 years. It's so broken. It was so powerful. But locally, people know me as the guy that I play weird stuff. Because the powerful list didn't even interest me. But if I were to play against a player, I would dumb my list down so I can keep them as opponents. It's not my fault my army was so strong. But as a player who selfishly, remember, being selfish is moral. I want opponents to play. I had to dumb my army down to keep people in the store playing. But when you have a weak book, you can't increase the level of your army, and it just never feels good. So, once again, Dweg players out there, never let anyone shame you because the rules for your army are just ridiculous. They're not well thought out. They're completely ridiculous. Okay? On the same token, if you're playing someone new, just don't use elemental tokens. Just don't use them. Right? When you can cast Flame Wall, maybe do it once to teach them not to do the thing, and then stop casting it. You have to dumb your army down to keep people in the hobby. Right? Hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, when I play my Nords, do I take all my bow chosen against new players? No, I do not. That doesn't happen. You know what I do? I take any other regiment, and then I lose a game. Not because I lose it on purpose, it's because a new player with 3 brain cells will roll a Nord that's not using bow chosen. Anyway, overall, the changes to the Dweg are fine. Whatever. Let's move on to the next army. Let's see. What's next on the docket? We have Nords. Okay. And this is time stamping. 107:35. All right, Nords. And if any of you have been following my crying and bemoaning drama on the Discord, you're going to be sorely mistaken here. Because the crying baby Diego on Discord is not the same one that is on my videos or in person. Okay. Let's go down to some Nord stuff. Before I do that, let me see what we got here in chat. Who would I piss off? I feel like Spires players will feel less bad playing VCI now. As a Dweg player, I still feel bad about using Steel Forged. Automata are overtuned, but not broken. Automata are absolutely broken. Shame Nords for still being semi-playable, though. No, Nords are 100% playable. It's a playable army. When you invest money in Nords, when you spend $1,000 in a Nord army, you're going to get $1,000 back from it on the tabletop. Yeah, playing against new players, it's forget to use tokens, forget to use a supremacy skill, forget to shoot or cast spells sometimes. Yeah. Like, if you play me, Eric, you stomp my ass into the ground. Because I'm going to attempt to do the same to you. And we're both going to smile and have fun doing so, right? Further changes is dropped, tweaked the Jotnars and Bow Trojan. What? Just dropped? What do you mean? Like, just dropped? I'm a little confused here. Just Johnny? Did I click the right thing? I did click the right thing. Rules and FAQs? Am I playing the game correctly? Am I doing it right? Why is the FAQ page not loading? There we go. May 24th. Bro, in the middle of a stream? Yeah, I have my Discord minimized. Thank you, Parabellum, for making me look like more of a jackass than I already make myself out to be. Okay, open in a new tab so I don't confuse them. Now I have to compare old Nords to new Nords to new Nords. You know what? Let's do this. The tab here, the Nords one, gone. I just got rid of it. So I will never know what that PDF even said. It's gone. So let's go with the new army list here. And a big, let's see. Okay. 150%. Okay, so Nords. Here we go. Nords. All right. This is the weird rule. Blood of the Einhar no longer affects monsters, right? Here's the thing. Okay, I have to look through. I have to look through this PDF before I put my foot. You know what? I'm not. I'm just gonna read it as I go through. It just seems weird that a wargaming army has an army rule. It doesn't affect your army. Like, it doesn't affect the things that matter. The characters and monsters were the things that mattered. No, Raiders getting an extra attack. Who cares? Raiders weren't killing anything anyway. Who cares? Everything else just died. Who cares? I don't get it. I just don't get the change. Who was the guy that like complained that Ice Jotnars and we're getting like, oh, they reroll, they get flurry, they're too strong. What? Can't Nord have one good thing? Just one? You know? There are people in my store, unfortunately, who play Nords. See, I try not to do this. I try to do this. There are people in my store who are leaving the game because they dropped hundreds of dollars on artesian, finely crafted models that don't gain an advantage from the army rule, and it was never broken. It was never oppressive. Never. It's just weird. It's just weird. I don't get it. It's like the crisis I had when I first got into the game and the rules allowed you to score early on, so I bought a whole bunch of stalkers, and then they changed the rules where you couldn't score until round 4. I felt like Parabellum punched me in the balls. It's like, haha, you're an idiot for buying these models. Trust us and buy more models in the future. It was weird. Then they changed it back down to scoring on round 2, so my stalkers were viable again. And it's not a Parabellum thing, it's every company. GW is the biggest offender of this, where you spend a lot of money, God, heaven forbid you spend a lot of money, and they just take a big crap on you. Because of a tournament thing happened somewhere. It's just really weird. Slingers not only got their 18-inch range back, but they went down 10 points. You've got to be trolling me. Cost 250 attacks, go to 15. Go to March C. Mountain Jotnar, March 7. Some mentions. Damn. Thank you, Parabellum, for for trolling me on my own stream. God bless your souls. Okay. I did read the chat. I got to move on. Okay. Shaman. Basically, I read this already. The Shaman's ability works off the table, which was so weird. Because at Adepticon, I had an opponent who was devastated that it didn't work off the table. And then we were told by, I can't name people. Apparently that's taboo. I was told by authorities that the guy had to be on the board. And I thought it was ludicrous. Then over the past month on Discord, I was told the Shaman had to be on the board. That I wasn't reading the rules correctly. I'm like, but that's not what? And they continue pointing me to the core rules. Unless there's unless the rules state specifically that, they're not on the battlefield or whatever. And I get that point of view. But the point of view was, out of all the rules here, the Shaman was the only one that didn't have the must be on the battlefield. So that was an exception to the rule. That's how you'd read it. And then bam, he could be off the table. It's like I was taking crazy pills for the past week, for the past month, and everybody, it's like it was Clockwork Orange, and I was just walking around the street. Everyone's like laughing and pointing at me like I was crazy, and I'm like, but guys, I know how to read English. And then bam, it's like, no. You weren't taking crazy pills, and the past never happened. So this is a buff. This is a buff to Nords. Thank you, Parabellum. Thank you. Thank you, Parabellum. This is awesome. That the shaman works off the table. This is great. I like this. This is really good. Thank you. All right. Let's move on to the characters. Part of me just wants to delete this video and start over again tomorrow because of the change. Because the information I have in this video is now outdated. I don't know. I'm rapidly like losing enthusiasm for this stream. But you guys are watching, and because you are giving me your time and attention, and you like to see Diego suffer. You like this. You like the drama. Then I'll do it. Throw a sub. Give me a sub if you're not subbed. At least do that. Thank you. People are blipping me on Discord, probably telling me my house is on fire. I'm not going to read the Discord. I'm not going to do it. Masteries. We're just going through. Rune of Shielding, which is fine. It's okay. This is clarification, which I appreciate Parabellum doing. It's good clarification. Nothing with Raiders or White Way Shaman. Bow Chosen. I mean, I have really bad memory, even though I use this unit every regiment. Sorry. See, Parabellum, I'm even trying to relearn my entire vocabulary. So your brand is living rent-free in my head. So I don't use unit, I use regiments. So the regiment here, I use it all the time. Went down 10 points. It's fine. Additional stand, 60 points. I don't get that. What is that? I don't get it. So, I look back in my earlier comments on Discord, and back in October, I mentioned Bow Chosen should stay volley 2 and 14-inch range. It should go to 14-inch range. Now, did Parabellum take my advice? Probably not. But it's like after playing wargames since 1988 and seeing how dice games work, you just know what most players find fair in a wargame. So this is fine. 220 points was okay. I didn't have an issue with it. They went down to Evasion 1. I also mentioned Evasion 1. They went down to Evasion 1. That's fine. Right? Additional stands went down. I mean, whatever. Here's the thing, guys. If you were aware of my crying yesterday on Discord, my absolute baby emotionalism, right? I never once mentioned yesterday was the day of mischaracterization. There was another person who said I cried about my Nord range being nerfed. Never said it once. The nerfs that happened were the ones I've been asking for the past 6 months, and never mentioned the shooting being nerfed, right? I am still going to take Bow Chosen at 14-inch range and dominate people. And if I can go on a side tangent here, me and another one of my fellow Conquest players at my local store were talking about this. And I don't know the metric by which Parabellum decides what gets buffed or what gets nerfed. I know Leandro said he takes feedback from various sources. Fine. But I'm ignorant on what the final decision fundamental is. I know that GW, when it sees armies doing well in tournaments, like the numbers are too high, they nerf the army to bring the numbers down. So if some of you are familiar with 40k, there's an army called Gene Stealer Cults, which is a very middle of the road army, but it's highly technical to use. And the players who stuck with that army got so good that over the past 4-ish months, the tournament results were skewed, where they were the strongest army in the game, yet the numbers were skewed because of like literally 4 or 5 players. Okay? What's my point here? The point is this. When people have these conversations for wargame balance, the context that is always dropped, always, all discussions, it's the skill of the player behind the army. I can take any army in Conquest and stomp 99% of the people in this game because I'm just good at wargames. It's what it is, right? Easy. So I can take, you can give Bow Chosen 10-inch range. I will destroy other people's armies with him, right? Because I know what I'm doing with them. But when someone who's balancing their product, once again, I'm not saying PB does this. This is more of a GW rant than anything. They look at the numbers and they remove the most important factor, the person that pilots the army. Once again, if you guys are familiar with 40k, there's an army called AdMech, right? And that army is complete garbage. But last year, one of the best 40k players, his name is Richard Siegler, went to Las Vegas Open and won with that army after it got nerfed. He got first place, beat thousands of other players. Not because AdMech was strong, but because he is strong. So I'm hoping that these nerfs and buffs do not happen because of just raw numbers. Because statistics are not facts. Statistics are not reflective of reality. They're not. You need proper individual context to understand why a thing is the way it is on a individual level. Anyway, Bow Chosen are fine. Maybe some of you guys are waiting to see me rant about it. No, it's perfectly fine. Moving on. Let's see what we have here in chat. The Dweg Arnd went up to M6, so he's compatible. Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad they did that. I'm not glad Berserkers went to March 6, but I'm glad that the practice of fixing an issue in a timely manner is something that PB is doing now, instead of waiting like 4 months. Wait, buffs to Nords? No. Now the spot for the worst army is opened, and I'll be one of us. It's only minor. The major changes were to OD and Wadrun, which you haven't touched yet. We're going to get there. There was the same discussion about the Imperial Officer. I laughed hard at the rule changes yesterday. Which discussion about the Imperial Officer? So, I got to talk closer to the mic. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm tuning out. Trolls. Trolls got changed a little bit. Oblivious, who cares? The conversation about trolls is an hour-long conversation that I just can't have on here. It's a completely worthless and useless regiment in the game. It's a trap. Ironically, the troll is the troll regiment. The troll regiment is the troll in the Nord army. The regiment does not pack any offensive power, and the regiment does not pack any defensive power. It is completely worthless. Do not take them. And I've done extensive testing, giving them Resolve 5. I've played on my streams. Remember, guys, I test this crap against top-level players. Give them Resolve 5. Didn't matter. I gave them 8 stands. Charge them into enemy regiments. Doesn't matter. Avoid trolls like the plague. Not good. The design space for them is just, it doesn't exist. Oofnadar. Okay, whatever. Don't care. What else we got here? Fenrir Beast Pack. Jeez, this was the one that this is probably, if you're not a Nord player, this is probably the change that baffles you the most when you hear me and other Nord players cry. The Fenrir Beast Pack has a use in the Nord army as a cheap objective grabber. But now at 130 points, I can just take, for instance, where are the Raiders? I can take Raiders, give them a captain for 10 points, So now they're 220 points, right? Make them medium. And now they hold objective zone markers. Keep in mind, Fenrir are restricted while Raiders are mainstay. So why would I spend more points on a restricted regiment that does the same job as Raiders? I don't. And I don't understand this loose formation thing. I was told this was more of like a game wide light cav kind of feel to regiments. They got this. But Fenrir is one of those regiments that doesn't fit the mold of any other regiment in the game. Look at its stats. Right? Crap. Absolute crap. And it's medium for some reason. I don't get it. It should be light. That's the thing. If it was light, then it couldn't hold objectives. Then it would have like a flanking role. But because it's medium, because it has that medium tag, it was our cheapest way to hold our zones in the back. And I don't know. The Fenrir Beast Pack died to shooting before. It's gonna die to shooting now. So this was shocking. Fenrir Beast Pack. Here's what happens when people want to buy models. They look at a store shelf. They can now see Fenrir Beast Pack and have it collect dust. Instead, they just buy Raiders. There's no choice. It's the same issue. This is the overall issue I have with Nords. Nords have no army identity. It doesn't do anything. There is no identity. Zero. Trolls. Why get trolls? You can just get a Mountain Jotnar or Ogres. It's because Nords lack an identity. The design space for our regiments all fill the same role. We don't do anything. I can't explain this. All of our regiments that do weird stuff, they're not released. Like the Ufnadar and Berserks that they have the Bloodlust rule. Once they're released, Nords will finally have an army identity where we can now have an all Bloodlust army coming off of Vanguard with Vanguard movement charging you from the sides of the battlefield. It's probably going to suck, but it's something we can do. Like if you're Spires, you can build all Brute army. You can build a shooting. You can build deck manipulation. You can build suicide bombers. You can build DK. Like when you're building Spires, you have so many identities you can work with. Mutations. When you play with Dweg, do you want just blocks of melee? Do you want spell casting? Do you want fast moving light automata? I mean, there's so much you can do with other armies. With Nords, there's just nothing. Especially since our monsters got nerfed for some reason. And yes, removing blood was a nerf to them. It removed the identity of Nord being the monster army. Because when you're not a Nord player, you might think the Jotnars are... even now, because you guys are telling me they got buffed, right? I'm going to read them in a second. When your models don't participate in your army rule, it doesn't feel good. And I was given fluff reasons to why the Jotnar didn't have the blood of the Einhar. But I didn't bother looking into the fluff because I didn't feel this was important. But then why were all characters removed from the blood of the Einhar special rule? I'm sure there are some characters that fluff-wise would benefit from blood of the Einhar. And if that is true, then the fluff reason doesn't hold any weight. Because there's no consistency. There's no consistency of that application of that rule. It's just weird. It's like this. Huh? Waiting for IV Cam. Hey. What do you mean waiting for IV Cam? Oh, my phone died. Really? You couldn't even tell me my phone died? Okay, so I don't have another camera. So you know what? You guys are just not going to get a camera. Might be more boring for you, but it is what it is. Let me just turn that camera off. Okay, so there's no cam. Whatever. Sorry. Oh, there's got to be something I can do for a cam. No, my other two cameras, you know what? I do have them. Be right back in 2 minutes. Be right back in 2 minutes. They're in my car. Hold on. All right. I got my camera. Let me set this sucker up. All right. I know. It's such a pain in the butt. Okay. All right. Camera is in. I'm pretty sure you're going to see my green screen, which is fine. It's fine. Let's see. This is now going to be my dice camera. Is it my dice camera? I don't know. Is it? Oh, there it is. Cool. Oh, good lord. Good thing it wasn't like aimed down. You'd see my. Oh, I'm so much fatter on this camera. Okay. So like the thing is this: all the Nord players I know, okay, that I got into the game, they got into the army because of the fluff, the feel. They're Nords. They have trolls and werewolves. They get into the army because of the fluff. But then the fluff doesn't translate on the tabletop. Because they're like, wait a second, Flame Berserkers are what Viking Raiders should be. High resolve. Technically, Flame Berserkers should have like no defense, but high resolve, rawr, just foaming at the mouth, offensive beat sticks, rawr. But Nords don't really have that. Just middling stuff. So the feel of the army, the thing that drew people in, is just not there. And then to have the army rule not affect the monsters is like more of a kick in the gut. Kind of like destroys the feel. So that's why the change to Nords is more of like a fluff violation in a sense. All right. I know I just worded that really poorly, but I'm not going to go back and clarify that. Let's move on. What else we got here? All right, we got Golter, Bearzarks, Uger, whatever. Let's see. Siege Otnar. Let's go down to Siege Otnar. Went down 20 points. Moving 7. Sub. Whatever. Attacks 13. Why was that even raised? I don't get it. I think it was to standardize maybe all the mountains or all the Jotnars. Armor piercing, clean, fiend hunter. Impact 5. Why is it 5? Just make it 6. Standardize them if you're gonna. I don't get the Siege Jotnar. I really just don't. It's a tech piece. It's a piece you take if your opponents always play monsters or brutes. The problem is the tech piece costs like $100 and something. It's not like something that you just take in your list all the time. Like when I played at Adepticon, all my opponents had Siege Jotnars. They were a complete joke. They didn't do anything to me. Like whatever. It's a complete waste of time, waste of points. How would I fix Siege Jotnar? I have no clue. I have no idea. I've given that regiment so little thought. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Don't care. Mountain Jotnar. Spiteful Revenge. Mountain Jotnar keeps the rule that I had 2 days ago. Okay. It's not a buff. It's just what the thing was. And Movement 7. Doesn't matter. Movement 7 is kind of irrelevant. We wanted Unstoppable on it. Right? I don't get the movements. I think they just standardized Movement 7 for all the Jotnars. Is that what they did? Looks like it. And I'm not complaining for complaining's sake. Like, for the past 6 months, whenever I heard anyone try to improve the Mountain Jotnar, it was always give it unstoppable. It was never make it movement 7. Movement 7 should be like our Raiders and Huskarls. We should be the fast army in the game, but we're not. But I don't design the army, so I'm not going to go there. Ice Jotnar got cheaper, got one more attack. Wait, what? I thought they were standardized. All. Oh, did they get the +1 attack because they don't get Blood of the Einhar anymore? It's the flurry that we want, not the +1 attack. It was the reroll misses. I see what they did there. Oh, I see what they did there. Eh. 250 points. Eh. It was better at 265 with Blood of the Einhar. Because in gameplay, when I charge with the Ice Jotnar, it would take damage and then activate. So it was like the elemental tokens for Dweg. It was an option for my opponent to deal with. Can I deal with this Jotnar in one round? I've had players in my store try to kill the Jotnar and leave it at 1 wound, and then they got penalized for it. Then I've had players in my store just kill the Jotnar in 1 round. But unlike the elemental tokens, the Ice Jotnar gaining flurry wasn't like a negative play experience because the opponent was in complete control of it. I can't damage my own guys to get it. Just weird. What we got here in chat? +1 attack helps offset the loss of the faction ability. Doesn't make the faction ability feel as bad. Just give them the faction ability. What? When you review Wadru and they changed the chieftain but didn't give it color font. Okay, you'll help me there. If you're upset about these Jotnar rules it for 250, I can't wait till you see the Tauntor. The Tauntor is not released, so I don't care about unreleased stuff. I literally don't care. People are complaining about the Tauntor for no reason. Well, okay, there's one context where I would care. If I spent money on a pre-order and then the rules changed, that is a big sticking point for any wargaming company to not do. GW is also notorious for that. If you played Leagues of Votann, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I literally, my store owner still might hold negative resentment toward me for this. In 40K, an army came out last year, a bunch of dwarves called League of Votann. And I was going to pre-order them because the army wasn't available for like 30 years or whatever. It was like an old army they were bringing back with like a modern flair. He was asking for pre-orders. I said, yeah, I'm going to get into it. Then GW nerfed the army before it came out. I said, no. Like, if I ordered a Tauntor based on the rules that were available at that time and it changed, I would probably ask my pre-order back. I'm like, yeah, no thanks. Now, I don't know if it's up for pre-order. I don't know if that's the situation. If it's not, then you get my context. I'm not going to further clarify myself on that. All right, moving on. Command models and aspects didn't really change that much, just clarifications, whatever. The hit to Nords is more of a fluff gut hit than a balance hit. You know, nerfing my strongest unit didn't bother me one bit. But rearranging rules because of fluff reasons make no sense. You cannot justify fluff to translate into power in a war game. You can't do it. The game has to be balanced based on mechanics, on dice rolling, on rough fairness, on whatever the game company decides that would be. It could never be because in fluff, a thing does a thing. Just, you can't do it. Otherwise, the ironic thing is, otherwise I would say Dweg would just dominate, and they actually do, which is kind of annoying. In 40K, Space Marines would just beat everybody, or Necrons would beat everybody, because that's just how they would be. In Fantasy, High Elves would just beat everybody. I mean, And they did. You can't do it. It's not good game design. They touched Dweg. Yeah, they buffed Dweg. So we're good here with Nords. Overall, my whole gripe with Nords is the gripe I've had with them for a long time. It's just an underpowered, weak army that has no identity for a player to latch onto. And what little identity, care, love a player has for Vikings and Raiders, right? All you have to do is buy Dweg and just get Flame Berserkers, and you'll get the same experience, but it'll actually translate on the tabletop. If you want that Viking experience of frothing Berserkers that don't care if they get wounded, just running across the battlefield, just get Dweg and buy Flame Berserkers. So continue giving Bellum your money, just vote with your wallet and let them know that Nords do not fit that niche of being the Viking Raiders because they don't raid anything. So let's go over to the next army. Wadroon. 140, 50 Wad. Now I do have to download the new rules for Wad. You know what? I'm not. You know what? I will. You know what? I will. You know why? Because it takes me... Emotionally, I didn't want to. And then rationally, I just realized it takes me 1 second to do this. And I just did the this. So there. The this has been done. Wadroon old rules. Zoom in 142. Zoom in 150. Okay, here we go. What do we got here in chat? What do we got here? Oh, they touched Dweg. Ha ha ha. Yep. Yeah, Dweg lose 1 stand. The army rule, that didn't really matter, got nerfed. And Flame Berserkers got buffed. And I'm glad most Dweg players... It took a long time for Dweg players to realize the power of the Flame Automata. Now I'm hoping they stay away from Flame Berserkers, because they just run up the board with a medium stand character, and they just hold an opponent's objective. And they just can't do much about it. As I did in my game against Nords some weeks ago. Okay, let's go down to Wadroon. What do we got here? Looking for red stuff. Supremacy abilities. Oh, that's why I don't use page up, page down. It kind of messes up stuff here. Supremacy abilities. Shock Assault. What was the difference? The supremacy is always considered to be active. Let's see if they have... they got rid of that weird flurry special rule. Okay, I guess... Was this a nerf? Thank you, Tyler, for being in my chat. Is the Shock Assault an actual nerf? Let me know. It looks like a nerf to me. The Matriarch walks. The supremacy is always... this character stand gains a draw event and is able to resolve the 2 draw events. The character stand gains a following draw event and is able to resolve up to 2 draw events. And you get the Matriarch walks. So you get like an extra draw event. That's also a buff. That's good, right? So this all looks like buffs so far. Good. Seems fine to me. That'll help the new player experience, I think. Sign a Conquest. Restricted. You get the Drum Beast. Okay, cool. You told me there was a change that wasn't in red. I'm sure I'm going to pass over it. I think you said it was in the Chieftain. You let me know, because my eyes are going to strain here looking for it. Let's see. Predator seems fine. Character stuff so far. We have Elder Bronto Scalp. I love that name. That's funny. Okay, what? The character stand changes type to Cav. And the character stand may not purchase the Time Tour Rider Mastery as well. Elder Bronto Scalp. So the character changes his type to Cav, adds +1 to his March, and gains the Brutal Impact, Linebreaker, and Trample special rules and may no longer purchase any retinue models. So he like wears a dinosaur scalp on his head. He doesn't actually Like, he doesn't mount anything? Come on, Parabellum, make some money. At least force the players to, like, buy extra Raptor models to shove them on there or something. I don't know. Seems fine, whatever. 40 points to make your chieftain, whatever. Seems fine. Shock Assault, unchanged basically. There's no shock in the army that would have triggered Flurry. Okay. So thank you for clearing that up. The Matriarch getting 2 draw events, I think, was a buff, or was that a clarification? Looking for more red lettering. Don't see too much. What's this? Veterans? Hey, aren't veterans that unit that no one knows the power behind, and we're saying it was overcosted? Veterans went down 20 points. An additional stand went down. Okay, so they got buffed. Good. That's fine. Whatever. Slingers. Oh, here's the one, right? Slingers went down 10 points. Went up to 18 inches. Because in fluff reasons, slings actually have longer range than bows and arrows. But that doesn't take into account any actual balance in game. So, hey, hey Tyler, hey, who was it, Jason? Justin, I don't know. All you Wadroom players at my local store. Your slingers were good at 14 inches. They're now still at 18. You're now the shooting army. Congratulations. Wadroon actually have an identity now. They're the shooting army. Which, guess what, folks? I have no issue with. Shooting should be an identity for armies in games. Alright, moving on. What else we got? Hunting pack. What we got here? Hunting pack. Stands in this regiment count as being size 1. They got cheaper, loose formation, all fine. Hunting pack got buffed, good. I like seeing those little buggers on the tabletop. Chosen of War, Quaddle, Apex Predator, Bellowing Roar. What's this? I have to see what Bellowing Roar is in a bit. Wounds went up by 2. Okay. Wadron players still won't take it for whatever reason, and I know you want me to like cry about the Tantor and Drum Beast, but they're not released. I don't care. I already ranted about that earlier about pre-order stuff, so refer to that for my opinions on this issue. Flint Napper. Reroll failed hit rolls of 6. That's the same. Furthermore, enemy regiments do not benefit from the Hardened X special rule when making defense rolls against this regiment's volley attacks, including currently attached character stands. Okay, I guess this was clarified. Maybe buffed? I don't know. It changes how that hero works. We'll go back to Chieftain in a second. Bellowing War lets monsters chant Conquest. All right. Apex Predator is amazing now. I'll take your word for it. Most players are still not going to take it because it doesn't provide the numerical raw power that they want, right? But if it has like a hidden power that you're aware of, right? That maybe in like 3 months from now, Wadroom players are going to start to see, then that's good. That's fine. Skirmisher. This regiment, including whatever. Bellowing Roar. Oh, here it is. Bellowing Roar. The regiment counts as following the Cult of Conquest and benefits from and uses the War Chant Army rule. This regiment may only chant from the Cult of Conquest. Okay. Oh, was it before? If you took an Apex Predator and a character, you'd only chant like 1? And then you didn't benefit from it? But now you can have a character on a Apex Predator, and both the character and the Apex Predator would chant, adding to the pool, and then the Apex Predator would benefit from it. Am I reading that correctly? Okay, people are like really just jumping all over me here. What's going on here? Okay, that's fine. Apex could not chant, but now it can chant. Okay, cool. That seems like a pretty cool fix to sell more models. And I know for people out there who are socialists, when you hear that term, you think it's a negative. No. Bellum needs to sell as many models as they can. It's a positive. Move those things off the shelves. Make money. Be profitable. In a way where the model is also fun to use. Not worth broken. Now it can, and the character can give fanatics so 3 actions plus move. Good. Good. Yeah, okay. It's what I thought it was. Great. Wadroon players, rejoice. Your army is now top tier. It actually was before, but it was such a high ceiling skill army that you have to play that army for 80 losses before you realize you can roll anyone over. Good. Good. Wadroon is an army I would happily have players jump into. Good. Good for you guys. So far, everybody but Nords are winners here. Everybody. Everybody got buffed so far. Let's move over to OD. 152. Actually, 151.20. OD. Let's check out some OD stuff. And let me download the new OD list. OD list. Okay. OD. Where's OD? There we go. Let's zoom in here and zoom in here. I already know what my final verdict is going to be concerning these changes. And you may be shocked that the bad boy of Conquest is going to have such an opinion. Okay, when playing a 2,000 point battle, they've clarified this. Thank you. Thank you, Josh, for bringing this up in their chat. I'm sure they took note of you for suggesting this. Oh, and thank you, Tyler, for making suggestions to Leandros. I know he listens to you as well. Right? That's good. Personally, I think that the 17 should be a 16. That is now, I'm going to admit this. Here's one of the rare times I'm going to admit to being emotional. That is a Kantian rationalization where I just want to see the numbers even. Like 8 to 16. That has no bearing on balance. So you can go ahead and take what I just said and throw it in the trash. I just wanted to point that out. That this is a emotion-based rationalization that I could make without any regard to game balance. And this is what you should never do. If you guys are familiar with the philosophy of Immanuel Kant, arguably the most evil human being that ever lived, this is what he excelled at. Pure rationalizations without any concept of reality. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Dark Power Pool, whole bunch of stuff. I wish, Josh, are you around? Can you clarify these things for me? Tier 3. In addition, all regiments in this army always counts as being inspired when performing a clash action unless they are broken. I guess that's either a buff and or a clarification. That's good. Tier 3. In addition, whilst what do you GW? In addition, I think the only time I've seen whilst. Like here, it says while the warlords in the battlefield, but up here is whilst. In addition, whilst other friendly regiments with the enemy vessel special rule. Okay, cool. Other friendly regiments. Oh, so it's not counting the fallen divinity itself. All right, fair enough. Blasphemous Soma. What's that? That's not even on here. While the warlord is in the battlefield, each round before the supremacy phase begins, add 1 power token to an in-power pool of your choice. Oh! Wait. You didn't have that before? Wow, that's cool. It kind of buffed your tokens. So you can add it to the Fallen Divinity if you want. That's actually pretty cool. It makes people want to blow the dust off their Fallen Divinities and actually take her out for a whirl again. Because that model, unfortunately, is one of those completely worthless models once you get the top tables. Completely and utterly worthless. So if that's what this does, I'm glad Parabellum has done this. Thank you. Seems kind of cool. Moving on. Any changes to supremacy stuff? Looks like I'm not going to read these words. Whoever writes these rules, Leandros or whoever it is, I don't know, your brother, whoever does these things. I love the flair for the language here, but your command, your grasp of higher level vocabulary is beyond my public education destroyed brain. This supremacy ability is always considered to be active regardless whether the character stand is currently on the battlefield. All right, cool. Oh, this is an issue that Josh had about his OD when his Zilliarch died. Would it go away like the tier 4? Now the tier 4 stays. Cool. I like that. Glimmers of Golden Age. Supremacy ability is always considered to be active regardless of the whether the character stand. All right, cool. Nice change. Chieftain. What? Too long, didn't read. The Chieftain lost its ability to add bonus war chance. Now it gives the unit flurry. Awesome. Stealing more identity away from Nords. Okay, moving on. Zilliarch. Nothing's changed besides his supremacy being awesome now. No, nothing has changed. Herodeacon, awesome. Archimandrite, no changes. No changes here. Let's hop over to the Treasures of Old Dominion. Ore of Death got +2 over here. Okay. I know that's in context of Ore of Death losing the resolve stuff, which is fine. What do we got here? This is under Dark Blessings. What's this weird thing called? Skonflang? Where am I at here? Did I pass it? Skonflang? Here it is. 30 points. Went up 5 points. Whatever. Don't know why. Okay, what do we got here? Any red letters here? Dark Blessings not changed. Oh, your rules seem pretty much intact. They haven't been changed. They've been buffed so far. Awesome. Good for you guys. There's one piece of identity that I hope stays with OD is that they do not score early on. They don't have lights that allow you to score early on, etc., etc., etc. I think you should keep that. I think that's in context with the cultists once they get released. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Let me know. Kiri's got loose formation. Fine. They were fine before. It's that people ran them up the table and they just died. I knew one player who used them to power their dark power gifts, which was actually pretty cool. Or was it the Morai? It was one of them. Either way, getting loose formation is fine. It's funny. I don't see their points going up like the Fenrir's points went up. Fenrir points went up 20 points to get loose formation, but Kiri's didn't. So there's consistency out the window. Morai got Ore of Death 3. That's to compensate for the Ore of Death supposed nerf. Varangian Guard went up. Did they go up in points or down? They went up? Really? Why? Why did they go up in points? Is that a bother for you guys? I mean, obviously it's a bother if you go up in points. That's so weird. I fought against Varangian Guards so much and never did I think they were just too cheap. Their hard one was annoying. Okay, besides why, I have no question as to, I have no other opinion. Like, huh? So weird. Cataphractoi went down for additional stands? Whatever. Once again, there's no designer notes. I don't know why this was done. It seems so superfluous. Like, why'd you even bother doing that? Did I have to wait an extra 3 weeks for these rules to roll out because of like a 5-point increase somewhere? Profane Sepulcher. It's not released, right? So I don't care. Moving on. Command models and officers. So, OD seem buffed so far with that weird nerf to Varangian Guard. Princeps. This regiment, including currently adds character stand, always counts as being under the effect of the inspired. Okay, cool. Profane Reliquary just got cleaned up. So OD got buffed. You can now take your Fallen Divinity and build points into it without losing your army. And you can now... The Dweg used to build elemental stuff every round for free. Now you can do it for free. Don't necessarily know if you needed that, to be quite honest. But you know what? Good for Dweg. Dweg got buffed. Good for OD. OD got buffed. Sorry. All right. And last, and certainly least, the army that won Adepticon, and for some reason, range still needed to be nerfed, but anti-range and melee armies didn't. Let's go over to city-states. All right, city-states. All right, I have to timestamp this one. City-states, where you at, cuh? Where you at, cuh? God, so cringe. I love it. All right, city-states. Oh, I have to download the new rules for city-states. That's right. And no, I'm not going to go over any changes for the previous armies. Whatever. This video has gone long enough as it is. City-states. Here we go. I know you guys love it when I sing right into the mic. It doesn't turn viewers away at all. All right, army rules, whatever. No red stuff, no red stuff. Whoa, what is this? Darn, it's for a mechanist. It's for a release model. I actually have to read it. Carrier of the Goldfish. It looks like it just got cleaned up, its wording. Oh, in addition... Oh, it happens whether the character is destroyed or not. Okay. Who's beeping me? Go away. Hello. Hey, man. Oh. Bro, I'm streaming right now. Come on. All right, let's go back into this. Yeah, good luck, my friend. Okay. Polemark looks like he also got cleaned up. So these abilities are now always considered to be active? Well, they are before, right? Tenacious. Did he have Tenacious before? I guess this is like cleaning up of the words. Let me know if you're a City-States player. How wrong I am there. The Mechanist went up to Priest... Wait, Priest 5? Special rules? Wait. It lost all of its range stuff? I guess. I thought it was kind of cool the Mechanist was like a range dude. Maybe it didn't gel well with the rest of the army. At least, and it kept, its Priest 5 went to Priest 5? At least drop the Mechanist down to like, if you're going to do this, remove all of his range stuff. Bring him down to like 60 points, 70 points. Just, you know. So the Mechanist got slightly nerfed, but it's a nerf I don't think anyone will notice or care about. Polemark, what is this? Oh my good lord. Looks like this is cleaned up. Battlefield orders to battlefield tactics. At the beginning of this character stand's activation, select one of the following battlefield tactics. Until the end of the round, the regiment this character stand is currently attached to gains these effects. A regiment may only be affected by a single battlefield tactic or battlefield order. Oh, it didn't exist before. Should a regiment receive a battlefield tactic or battlefield order whilst already under the effect of another, The current one ceases and is replaced. Okay, so it's one or the other. Fair enough. Gains unyielding until end of round. Oh wow, order 2 before just gave it and he never lost it. I never realized that. That's cute. Okay. I guess there was an issue with order stacking and testing. I'm not aware of. Once again, I don't know why. Whatever. Battlefield orders. Wait, what? So, hold on. The Polemark has Battlefield Tactics. Oh, Battlefield Tactics and Battlefield Orders are 2 different things. I guess it's to differentiate where they're coming from. Alright, fair enough. Whatever. Is that the Hold on, is that the Aristarch? Where is he? And it looks like the wording got cleaned up here. Bravery special rule, and untouchable. Okay. So wording got cleaned up. Ipacaros, no one cares. Let's see. Inscription of lighter alloys got touched. Huh? Went up 5 points. Mobility. A regiment that had the phalanx special rule and lost it as a result of this draw event may still not enter a piece of garrison terrain. That must have been like a corner case scenario. I have yet to still play with a piece of garrison terrain in 6 months of playing this game. So, okay. To change it, I'm not aware of how it affects the game, but whatever. What are the red words we got here? Tactical. Ooh, expert scouts got a little pooped on. What's up here? Maybe got buffed. This mastery is active for the duration of the battlefield, whether regardless of the character status currently on the battlefield or having been destroyed. Oh, okay. So it got buffed. Nice. As far as I can tell. Hephaestians. Whoa! The attunement went to a 4 from a 2. What was that nerf about? Inflict one hit per success on target enemy regiment. Inflicts 2 hits per success on target enemy regiment. Oh no, it got buffed. You have to roll under. Yeah, you have to roll under. Okay. Could you not just kept it attunement 3 and inflicts 2 hits? Like a middle ground deal? Okay, it's easier to I thought spells after 2.0 came out, I thought spells were not supposed to be so easy to cast. Why is this design philosophy being rolled back on? Once again, there is no Y. W-H-Y. At one point in the game's design, we were told spells are getting nerfed. After 2.0 came out, Dweg's spell got stronger and spells really didn't get nerfed. And now spells are just getting a tad stronger here. So I don't understand why we were told one thing, but design philosophy-wise, and then practically, it's the exact opposite. I don't get it. This regiment gains the Aura of Death 7 special rule. This regiment gains the Aura of Death 5 special rule. I mean, it's only range 6. Really? Come on. Make it like a 2 and 3, 2 hits per success. I know that they have these like special rules that when they charge in, they do weird magic stuff and get stronger. I know I'm dropping that context. I'm not familiar with those rules. So if this is actually perfectly balanced with the design philosophy of spells supposed to being harder to cast, let me know on my ignorance in the comment section down below. Moving on. Phalangites went down 5 points. They got the pike formation, which the 100 Kingdoms got, which is kind of cool. And their Doritos went up 10 points. Whoa! Is the Doritos the one that gives them flurry? I don't know. Phalangites were a regiment no one took anyway. I don't see anything changing. This is a tech piece. The thing is, Hoplites are a regiment you take for all circumstances. Phalanges you only take when you're dealing with a meta that has impact attacks. So, whatever. Moving on. No changes here. No changes there. No change. The Promethean got an as if they were a character update, which is fine. Hephaestus. What are those? Are they even released? Wait. Oh, wait a second. Oh, the Hephaestus. Okay, yeah, the Hephaestus over here is now a heavy? What was it before? Hephaestus were a medium? Prometheans were medium. Oh. It's to designate like one's a medium, one's a heavy. Okay. Fine. And moving over to command models and officers. Looks like a lot of wording here got cleaned up. I'm not going to go through all this. You guys let me know if these were buffs or nerfs in the comment section down below. And that's it. So, what do you guys think? So, if you're watching this as a recording, I mean, you can leave now, I guess. Let me know in the description or in the comment section what you guys think. But overall, here's the thing. I know, unfortunately, this is at the end of the video. I'm going to have to, you know what? Let me timestamp this because I want to make something very clear. Very clear. End thoughts. Okay. These are my final thoughts. Overall, on a score of 1 to 100, so I can add some granularity in there. Right? I'm adding some granularity. 90. We got Parabellum, Mr. Rules Rider, Leandros, whoever it is, the people. I want to give positive justice. Justice is a virtue. I want to give justice where it belongs. So if it's Leandros or another individual, and I'm not naming the correct one, I apologize. So I'm just going to use the concept of Parabellum. But these rule updates that Parabellum did were also 90 out of 100. 90 out of 100. My only sticking point is out of all 7 armies, the only one that got nerfed overall. Like, each army might have got some buffs or some nerfs, but if you want to numerize them and put them on the tabletop, Nords just got nerfs. Don't know why. It just happens to be the army I play. Like, if I was a wargame player and I saw that my slingers went back to 18, I would be crapping out the golden goose that crapped out the golden egg in elation, right? Just happy. Just odd choices for the Nords. And they weren't balancing. The reasons I was given why Nords were nerfed weren't for balance issues. It was for fluff issues. Who cares? It translates to nerfing the army on the tabletop. Fenrir are going to see less play than it did before. And the addition to the movement and attacks for the giants pales in comparison to the missing out on flurry. It just feels weird. It feels really weird. And I almost feel like the change to the Jotnars were more of like a backhanded "fu." Here's something, shut up, like last minute change. That's what it feels like. Because literally no one I know complained that mountains were 6, or seas were 6, or their attacks were too low. It was just mountains needed unstoppable. That was it. And I have to put this here. People, stop saying that mountain Jotnars got buffed. They did not. You fell for the trick. Where nothing happened to the mountain Jotnar. It just kept the blood of the Einhar. The other 2 Jotnars lost blood of the Einhar. So it looks like the mountain Jotnar got a special rule. It didn't. So just stop. Stop being fooled by propaganda. As someone in chat and Discord said, you're falling for communist propaganda. That's actually what's happening. Now, The change to the March characteristic on the Jotnars happened midstream. So I have not had any time to rationally process this. So there's going to be a scenario in the future where I'm like, wow, these are great. And people are going to point to my video and say, remember when you poo-pooed on them? Yes, I poo-pooed on them because I'm in transition of them changing in the middle of the stream. I'm less annoyed with the Nord nerfs after the adjustment. There's still a disconnect between what you expect Nord to do and what to do on the table. That's my thing. You're absolutely correct. 100%. There is a disconnect between the fluff, the flavor. And ironically, when I was told the rules changed to fit the fluff more, Nords are not berserking Viking raiders that rape and pillage and kill women and children and do all these things. They're just Wadroon that could read books. And their army rule, it's my friend at my local gaming store said this best. They have Scornergy. If any of you ever played a game called War Machine, there was an army under the Hordes banner called Scorn, where the Scorn army had all these rules where you would hurt yourself and get buffs. So it looked like the army had internal rules that helped it, but none of the rules actually translated on the battlefield to helping the army or making you feel like you're playing a slave trading kind of army. It just there was a disconnect, and you did not want to play with the special rules of that army. That's how Nords is. Do you want to benefit from Blood of the Einhar? Well, you better build giant bricks of guys. But now that you built giant bricks of guys, guess what? Because of your non-existent defense, you're now broken. Congratulations. So the way you play Nords is with MSU. So what happens? When you have 3 stands and Blood of the Einhar finally kicks in to give you Flurry, you have a single stand left. Who cares? Like, who actually cares? I lost 2 Ogre stands, so my last Ogre stand can reroll misses. Whoop-de-doo. The army rule does not translate well into the models, except for the monsters. But that got removed. And characters. It got removed. I'm sure that was for balancing reasons, but it couldn't be for fluff reasons, because I guarantee you can find in fluff some characters that would benefit from the Blood of the Einhar. How the faction plays section feels kind of misleading, because I don't feel like they do a lot. They don't do anything. Nords literally do nothing special in the game at the moment. Zero. Nothing. Other armies are faster. Other armies hit harder. Other armies have better ranged. Other armies score early. Other armies shoot better. I mean, and this is not doom posting. Nords don't have an identity. We kind of like grappled onto our monster identity, but even that wasn't like the best way to play the game at top level. But we had that going for us. But Nords don't have an identity. When you play Wajun, you feel like savages chanting, and you run across the board and do crazy stuff. When you play with Spires, you're playing with like the best designed army in any war game ever. It's just awesome. You feel like the guys do what the fluff says they do. When you play with Dweg, you dominate the planet, you dominate the game. Congratulations. When you play with 100 Kingdoms actually was like that, where you want to play Cav, but you couldn't because Cav sucked. We're going to see if they suck now. So 100 Kingdoms shared out, but they at least had an identity. Their identity was Cav, it just didn't work. So 100 Kingdoms is the other army I feel kinship with players like, oh my god, why does this army exist? But it's not like 100 Kingdoms have an army rule, like their supremacies, where they say for fluff reasons it doesn't work on your Cav units. That's how it feels like to be a Nord player right now. It's a gut punch. You get into the army because you love the Viking feel, and it's like, oh, your giants don't participate in the fun. Or Spires, I don't know. I can't even think of anything. It's the best way I could think of it would be if 100 Kingdoms, your army rule didn't work for Cav. It's like, why? Fluff reasons. Then why am I playing this army? There's no identity to play this army. So, One of my really good local acquaintances once told me, and he's right, when you're serving someone a shit sandwich, make sure that the bun tastes really good. So the first bite and the last bite are really good, right? So besides my bitching that Nords were the only army that objectively got nerfed and were objectively one of the worst armies in the game because high-level players skewed and made them look good. But every local player, every new player I know that plays Nords, they get raffle stomped by anyone and their grandmother. Putting that aside, the changes were done were in a timely manner. We didn't wait until Gen Con for it to be done. Thank you, Leandros. Thank you, Bellum, for putting the rules out in a timely manner. Thank you for clearing the language up. Much easier. And you know what? Thank you for making the game more fun for 6 out of the 7 armies. I mean, overall, it seems pretty good. Overall, it's pretty good. Pretty good change. This is what I want from a gaming company. 100%. Absolutely. Good stuff. I don't know what else I can really add to this besides please put in designer notes as to why to keep that community relationship personal instead of estranged. Once again, when you released the FAQ and had designer notes, it felt like we were part of the family, and it felt like I'd rather be with this company than another gaming company because you let us in on the process. When it comes to these army rules, there's this like inner circle of people who, in my opinion, don't know what they're doing when it comes to testing, and they just kind of shit out these rules just on a happenstance. And some of you watching this who are in this circle, maybe Leandros is watching this, and you may be thinking, no, what we do is rational and well thought out. That's the point. We don't know about it. We don't know. I just see Varangian Guard plus 20 points. Why? Never had an issue with them before. I don't know. Jotnar, Lost Blood of the Ironheart. Really? We never had an issue. It's like the rug got pulled out from under us in a lot of aspects. VCI, they got both the volley nerf and the barrage nerf. It should have been one or the other. Why? Let us in. Stop with this inner circle crap. Just stop with it. Something magical and mystical about this. Just give us designer notes. It could simply be, in testing, we found Varangian Guard were too powerful. And then, yeah, we would bitch and cry about that's all you gave us, but at least it's something, you know? It lets us in on the conversation. Right now, there's I can't have a conversation. Because if I have a conversation on Discord about why something was changed, the Vanguards or Reese, they just come in and say, well, that's what we decided in the inner circle. Why are we a second-class citizen here? I don't get it. I thought we're all like part of the same gaming community. Like when I show up to events, we're all chummy, having fun, have a little powwow, talk about stuff. Everyone's just having fun. But when it comes to the Discord, now it's like this communist socialist class system. It's like Karl Marx has entered Discord and created a class divide between the haves and the have-nots. It's really weird. When in person, it's like capitalism. We're all part of the same family. We're all trading value for value. Life is great. But on the Discord, it's like, what are they, the Morlocks? What's that story about like the people living under the city and the people above the city? Morlocks and whatever. It feels like if we're not in the know, we just don't know. The FAQ was a breath of fresh air. I loved it. I loved reading the designer notes. I was like, oh, yes. Even though I'm not part of the decision-making of anything in this game, it gives me the pseudo-illusion that I'm part of it because they threw me a piece of cheese and said, welcome to the family. Have some cheese. You're welcome at the dinner table. You're just in the kids' table over there. At least we can know what the conversation is at a distance. But when it comes to these rules changes, it feels like we weren't even invited to the house. And the tires on my car, my Nord cars were changed. And no one knows why my tires were changed. I'm like, why? No one told me why they changed. So overall, stinky sandwich, 90% good. Please keep doing this. This is great. I still tell people locally that Bellum is improving as a company. Its relationship with its customers are awesome with the company. All in all, good stuff. Really good stuff. Beautiful stuff. Really like it. I personally am going to overcome whatever nerfs Nords got, and I'm still gonna dominate people. That's because I'm a top level player. I'm gonna do it anyway. It doesn't matter. Give me Wadroon, City States, Dweg. I'm gonna top 3 tournaments. It doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter. It's the new player experience out there I'm kind of worried about. Because I see people locally that get into Nords that can't win games because Nords are bottom tier unless you're a pro, which I guess is true for most stuff in war games. And they're just very dejected right now. It's really weird. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for having fun. And please, in my YouTube comment section, you are free to speak your mind. Tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm this. I will not delete your comment. I will not tell you to watch your mouth as long as you follow YouTube's rules. Please be yourself. Don't ever feel like you can't be yourself around me because I have an authoritative position in running the channel. I am telling you, non-fraudulently, just be yourself. Tell me I'm wrong about everything. Sure, absolutely. Because I have people that send me Discord messages that I've kept private because they're private, where they've said they don't feel like they're part of the Parabellum family on their Discord. They've been pushed out over the past couple of months. And I might have that same effect on people because I have a strong charisma, a strong personality that intimidates some people and attracts others. If I intimidate you, don't. Just tell me to my face I'm fat and I'm wrong. And you'll be right on both accounts. Anyway,